Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Trouble Free. In today's video I am going to explain you about the delta rule and also about the gradient descent in the subject of machine learning. So in order to understand this video clearly, you must first have watched its previous video, which is about perceptron training rule. Then you will be able to understand this more clearly. Okay, done. And now let's get started. And one more thing I want to tell you is if you're having your exam schedule nearby, just let me know the date of your exam along with your college name in the comment section, so that I can make videos by your exams time and also according to your college syllabus. Okay, done. So let's get started now. And so as I already said, if you have not watched the previous video, you cannot understand this. So first watch that, and based on that you can understand this more clearly. Okay, so first, in the previous example, in the previous video where we learned about the perceptron training rule, that training rule is actually used to train a perceptron, right? And here we are using the delta rule also to train a perceptron. But what is the difference between the perceptron? When we are having the perceptron training rule, why should we go for another training rule like delta rule? Because the perceptron training rule will work only in the case of linearly separable data. It will not work in the case of non-linearly separable data. Okay, so if you can see this, the perceptron training rule will work good only for the linearly separable data. So in order to support for non-linearly separable data, we are going to use this delta rule. Okay, and what do you mean by linearly separable and non-linearly separable? I'll tell you that now. See, you're having some data, right? So this is some set of data here you're having. So what is the difference between linearly separable and non-linearly separable is, see, here positive is one type of data and negatives are one type of data, and here also positives are one type of data and negatives are one type of data, right? So if you're able to separate two different types of data with a single straight line, then that is called as a linearly separable. So with the help of a single straight line, you're able to separate this positives and negatives, right? You're able to separate two types of data, so that is why they are called as linearly separable data. But in this case, you will not be able to separate them with the help of a straight line, right? So if you draw a straight line like this, let us assume, then it is not divided. See, it will come like this something. So it is not getting exactly divided into two parts with the help of just one single straight line, right? So that is the reason why this is called as non-linearly separable data. Okay, so in order to support for non-linearly separable data, we are taking the help of the delta rule. Okay, done. So now you're clear about what linearly separable and non-linearly separable are and why should we use delta rule even if you are having perceptron training rule. Done. Now next, so what is the main idea of this delta rule? How this delta rule actually works? So the main idea behind the delta rule is it will use the gradient descent algorithm, gradient descent rule, you can say. Okay, so what is this gradient descent rule? I'll tell you, don't worry. And when I'm explaining about this gradient descent rule, listen to it very carefully. We will have a derivation. Listen the derivation also very carefully, because this gradient descent rule is not only used in this delta rule, but also you will be using it in back propagation as well. You know, back propagation is one of the important algorithm. I will be explaining about back propagation in the next coming videos, don't worry about that. Okay, so it will use the gradient descent rule in order to find out the best weight. So previously what we have done, we did simple iterations, right? By taking wi plus delta wi in perceptron rule, I'm telling, wi plus delta wi we took, and we kept on adding, we kept on doing some iterations, and then we arrived at the final weights where the output the target output is equal to the actual output. But here it is not like that, it is going to be somewhat different. So let us see what is the difference we have here. Okay, so first what happens is, this is the cost and weight when you're taking a graph. So this is how the error is, descent means what? Descent means reducing, right? Reduction, decreasing, right? So the error keeps on decreasing as you keep on changing the weights. Okay, so at one particular point you will be arriving at a minimum error. Done. So where you are having minimum error, there you need to stop changing the weights. And how to change the weights, I'll tell you. And even after reaching this minimum error also, if you still try to again increase the weight, change the weights, then what happens, the error will start increasing. Okay, so you should not keep on changing the weights even after you get the minimum error also. Zero error is not possible. So if you're getting very minimum negligible error, then you can stop there, because even after going there, if you again change the weight, then the error keeps on increasing. Okay, done. Now, so here you understood, right? We have to keep on modifying the weights, so until and unless we get the error as minimum, right? Now, how to modify the weights? How to by what fraction you have to modify the weights? The same formula which you have used for perceptron training rule, that only you are going to use. Wi is equal to Wi plus delta Wi. Okay, the same formula you are going to use, but here delta Wi is somewhat different. There delta Wi had a very simple formula, right? Something like negative n t minus o, like that. So it was a very simple formula, but here you are having delta Wi is equal to minus n multiplied with delta, this is nothing but the derivative symbol. Okay, derivative of E of W. E of W derivative is nothing but derivative of error with respect to the weight you need to do. So here you need to do the derivation, and this derivation is also called as gradient. Okay, so here the only difference between the delta rule and the perceptron training rule was, in perceptron training rule you don't have any derivative to do here. All the values you have and you need to substitute that values, but here it is not like that. A bit change. You need to find out you need to find out the derivative of E of W, and then you need to substitute that derivative here, and then you will get this delta Wi, and you have to substitute this delta Wi here in order to get the new weight. Okay, like that you need to keep on modifying the weights until and unless you arrive at the minimum error. Done. So now let us see how to find out the derivative. So as I said, you need to find out the derivative of E of W is nothing but derivation of error with respect to weights. Okay, see, we will in physics or max, we did d by dt of acceleration or d by dt of speed, right? If you can remember in our intermediate, and even in M1 or M2 also we have these derivatives, right? So d by dt is nothing but what? We are differentiating acceleration with respect to time, right? Here also you're going to do the same thing. We are derivating E, that is nothing but the error, with respect to the weight. Okay, now this also is a derivative symbol only. Don't again get confused that d is the derivative symbol. This is also derivative symbol. We have learned about this also. And now, what is the formula for E then? So you have to differentiate E, right? So what is the formula for E? The formula for E is half sigma d belongs to d. Here d is one particular training example, and capital D stands for the entire set of training examples. So for each and every training example in capital D, which is nothing but in set of training examples, for each and every example you have to keep on doing the differentiation and add up all of them. Sigma means summation, right? So TD minus OD whole square. Okay, so this is the formula for error, and for this formula we need to do differentiation with respect to W, which is nothing but d by dW. Okay, so instead of W naught, you can take Wi, which is in general, which is applicable to all, W naught to Wn. You can take in general it as I. Okay, done. So now see, so let us apply the derivation now. Derivative of d by dW of half sigma d belongs to d TD minus OD whole square. Now we will not differentiate any constants, right? If you are having any numeric coefficients, you can just bring them out. So what does it become? Half d by dW of sigma TD minus OD whole square. So we have a formula, d by dx of a power n is equal to n times a power n minus 1, right? So that is the same formula. If you assume this as a, and this 2 becomes n then. So n into, that is 2 into, what is a here? TD minus OD, right? TD minus OD whole power, n minus 1 is nothing but what? 2 minus 1, which is nothing but 1. So simply we have taken TD minus OD, right? And d by dW of TD minus OD we are doing. Why? Because we have to differentiate with respect to W, but it doesn't have any W term in it, right? So that is why we need to differentiate it again separately. Okay, done. Now this 2 and this half will get cancelled, right? So 2 and 1 by 2 cancel. Now sigma TD minus OD d by dW of TD minus, what is this OD actually? It is actual output, right? So if you can remember, in perceptron training rule we have defined output as sigma Wi xi, which is nothing but w1 w0 x0 plus w1 x1 plus w2 x2 and so on, right? So the same thing you are doing here. So here, as we are having d wd xd, so output is nothing but output of I is nothing but xi into wi, you can say simply in general. Okay, so in place, since it is d, you are substituting wd xd. Okay, now you need to do the differentiation of d by dw of td minus wd xd, you have to do. And now what this td will become, it becomes a constant, right? Because it is not having any w term, so it becomes constant now, and the d by dx of constant will obviously become 0. So minus d by dw of wd xd, right? So what it becomes, just xd, you'll get just xd, right? So then, since you are having negative symbol here, negative xd. So again, one more thing I forgot to tell you, how will you get xd? See, simple, you are doing differentiation with respect to w, right? So what you can write, d by dw of wd xd is nothing but d by dw of, you can bring this xd outside because you're not differentiating it. So with respect to wd, it's a constant, so you can bring it out. And again, as I said, constant derivative of constant is 0. Again, why you bringing here, it is adding, or it is being added, or it is being subtracted, but here it is being multiplied, right? So you need to bring it out as a constant. So then you get xd, and d by dw of wd, you'll be getting obviously 1 because you are doing it with respect to w, and here also you have w, so you'll get this 1, and you'll be remained with xd, right? And since you are having the negative symbol already, you'll get negative xd. Okay, done. So this is what you get for derivative of d e by dw of I is what you get, right? And what is the formula for delta wi? As I said just now, minus n times derivative of error with respect to weight, right? Which is nothing but this, right? So you need to substitute what you got here in this. Okay, done. And when you substitute, you will be getting this. Here in the formula you already have negative n, right? And here also you are having negative, so negative times negative, you'll be getting the positive. So that is why you don't have any negative sign in the formula. So like this you'll be getting. Okay, done. So n times sigma of td minus od into xt, where n is the learning rate. Okay, done. And what is td? Target output. What is od? Actual output that you are getting. And what is xd? The weight of the respective, the input of the respective weight. Every weight will have its input, right? xi will have wi, right? So the xi corresponding to this wi. So since we are taking it in terms of d, for a single target function we are defining it, right? Since we have sigma, we keep on adding all of them. Okay, done. So this is how you get, and then you need to apply this in wi plus delta wi. Like that you have to keep on changing the weights. Okay, so again, when you are changing weights, each and every time you need not do this all derivation, because this all derivation is in order to get the formula. So if you are remembering this formula, you need not do the derivation each and every time. You can just keep on doing iterations. Okay, done. So this is about the gradient descent and the delta rule. Why do we use delta rule? In order to give support for non-linearly separable data. Perceptron training rule will work good only for linearly separable data, but when you are going for non-linearly separable data, you need to go with gradient descent or the delta rule. Okay, done. So that's all for this video. If you are confused because of the derivatives and all, just try to watch the video again. Just try to revise the concepts of derivatives, because here in this subject you'll be getting the concepts of derivatives in so many places. So that's all for this video. Let's meet up in the next coming video with another topic. Until then, stay tuned to my channel, and if you're still having any doubts apart from what I've explained in this video, just let me know it in the comment section. And if you want me to make any other videos or any other topics, let me know in the comment section. I'll definitely try to make videos for you, sure.